Welcome back to another sanctimonious episode of people who have actual real jobs do things for fun and sort of sillily.
I'm standing here with a thing that is
It's called ice cream, Logan.
got nuts all over it, and I'm about to put it in my mouth.
Logan likes nuts in his mouth. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into today's unboxing and maybe an overall review of some fermenter we found on Amazon. The basic gist of this is it's sort of like the brew bucket, but it looked a little bit sturdier. And the thing that really captured our eyes and got our attention on this is it has a triclove fitting where the sample valve is. And so we wanted to open this up and kind of give it a look-see and let you guys know, is it worth buying the cheaper knockoff brand on Amazon? Maybe. I guess I'll go ahead and one-hand this since I actually have the sharp razor blade option in my mouth.
I'm going to shove my mouth.
So there's a couple reasons that I'm excited for that sample port that this thing had on Amazon. And one of them is, first of all, it's easy to take apart and clean. And the second thing that I really enjoy about that is that if I want to switch out that sample port for something else, I can.
Boom. All right. Nailed it.
So first of all, this thing looks thick. Compared to, what we're comparing this to is the SS Brewtech Brew Bucket.
Ta-da!
All right.
Well, that looks like a fermenter. That's a good start.
Definitely.
Holy crap, these clamps are such overkill.
These are beefy clamps.
Why would they have such huge clamps on this thing?
I don't know. That's what they had. So so the top is also a tri-clamp apparently, which is pretty good looking.
Yeah, that's an 1.5 inch tri-clamp, so that's a good start. The welds are passable. Not exactly polished to a pristine shine, but you know, I think they'll work. Definitely got some grittiness. Is that how you would say that? Like little bits of metal shavings and stuff all over it. So definitely needs to get a good cleaning with some Peebs or other stuff, some TSP.
Do your whole stainless pre-cleaning before you use it, like we say in every video.
The outside's definitely got some apprentice marks on it. So Peter is pulling out the dip tube on it apparently, which is that might be an issue. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm not. I don't know what to. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, it's definitely looking. It's definitely looking a little bit gnarled. It's that is a cut off piece of slightly bent tubing, and it doesn't look like any care was given to how it's cut off.
I wonder if we can fix that. Brian says we shouldn't have to fix this. That's not a very good sign right there. That will definitely harbor bacteria.
Two thoughts on that. We could try to take a grinder to this. Well, not a grinder, a cutter offer, and try to get that.
You could take a cutoff wheel with an angle grinder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing is we can also try to look online and see if there's anything else that'll fit that tri-clamp size that can serve the same purpose. I don't think we have a tri-clamp thing that's that size that we can just put a plug on it for now. Because if it was just plugged up, from the looks of the inside, this looks like a completely functional fermenter.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what does the inside look like? Because I don't care how grody the outside looks. If the inside is nice and clean, nice and polished, then we got something to work with.
Other than being dirty, the inside actually looks very passable. It's definitely not as seamless as other fermenters that I've seen, especially when we get into the big scale and we're spending, thousands of dollars for our, 1 to 2 barrel, or even 5 barrel or 7 barrel fermenters. But that said, I don't see anything in there that is a huge red flag.
So I do see a couple pit marks around the weld for the lower tri-clamp, but you could probably buff those out with a high-speed polishing wheel or something like that. So I don't know. I think what did we pay for this? That's ultimately what it comes down to.
So we saw this thing on Amazon for about $178, just under 200, for something that fits the same bill as the brew bucket, but has the tri-clamp on the top and has a tri-clamp on the sample port. I think that's a win. I think that's an upgrade for those two things. However, with the overall quality that we got, there's definitely some work that needs to go in to make this fully functional. So we already talked about how these clampies are really, really burly, so we can probably count on this thing to hold pressure. That's cool for a couple reasons. First and foremost, if we wanted to use something like a spunding valve, we could pop that right on top, and we could actually sponge this. For blow off right on the top, we can also just do something like a regular barb, right and then we can just do a tube off of that. That would be our blow off tube, super easy for primary fermentation, or if we just never want to have to use airlock ever again. And then when it comes time to clean this thing, we've actually got This one's too big, but the smaller version of a CIP valve that fits this adapter right here. We have a smaller one, it's just on another fermenter right now. But that would go in there. Then we can actually CIP this fermenter too if we wanted to reuse some caustic that we're already going to be using to clean kegs.
As you can see, we are no longer at the shop because I am back here in my garage quite literally polishing up these turds. Earlier you saw that these had some pretty nasty pit marks as well as some nice little apprentice terrible machining on the dip tube side of things. However, I've come up with a pretty simple way to fix these. Let me walk you through it. First of all, I went on Amazon, found these little SOS, I think they're 200 grit polishing pads. And they're designed to go onto a 4.5 inch angle grinder. Pretty reasonable. I think they're less than $20 for like a 5-pack. And that's what I did most of my buffing with. I also am going to use a drill with a step bit on it. I use that to more or less ream out the bottom triclo fitting just because the weld on there wasn't the best. And I use that just to kind of smooth it out and round it out a little bit. I also used a 1/2 inch drill bit to ream out the inside of the dip tube because there was some machining slag inside of that as well. Sure, this fix is not perfect. Ideally, we have food grade sanitary welds on everything, but at this price point, that's a lot to ask for. I think 20 minutes and $20 of my time is enough to really kind of justify the value point of these guys to make them perfectly functional with some heat sanitation.
After Logan got these guys all polished up, we gave them a thorough cleaning with some alkaline cleaner, a good rinse, and then before using them, their favorite way to sanitize, and the reason that we prefer stainless fermenters or stainless anything is we were able to put some boiling hot water in there and make sure that these things are purged of any bacteria that might get in there. As you can see, they are currently holding beer. They are fermenting, actually what you will see in our Willet beer number 6. And the reason we like this, just to kind of wrap everything up, is because the tri-clamp on the top and the tri-clamp on the side actually makes these super modifiable. What I mean by that is, you can see right here we actually have a sample valve on the top. We can use that to spun, like open or close, and make sure that we can release pressure there. Or you can just put a straight up barb on the top, and that is nice if you want to just do a blow off like you would with a normal beer. You see it holds pressure, and then if you do that for your blow-off tube, we just use hard clamps as our spunding mechanism. Altogether, for the price point, if you're willing to put in a little bit of work, I do still think that these have value. If you're willing to spend a little bit more money, it's probably a better idea to go with something like the Spike Flex Plus or another tri-clamp laden fermenting system. But for the price, I would say it's worth a go, especially if you have a little bit of machining you can do. Yeah, so if you got any more questions on the functionality of all this, feel free to leave that in the comments below. I'll go ahead and post a link to these if you want to check them out on Amazon. Other than that, let us know if you like this overall review or breakdown of this style of fermenter. If it's something you want to see more of, we'd appreciate that feedback. And if not, maybe we just won't do this kind of stuff again. We'll see you guys next time. Please subscribe to the channel and thumbs up. Cheers. Yeah, boom.